Hi guys, I'm Shmee. Hello to you and welcome back to the channel, especially you early viewers, where you join me tonight in London, a very, very cold evening, and I was going to tell you some of the features and odd things about the AMG GT R that I have learnt over driving it now 500 miles. And there's also something in the boot that's really quite exciting to show you, but firstly, there are also some very special cars around. There's a Lamborghini Centenario and a Ferrari F12 TDF over there, and there's also, I think, a Pagani Huayra BC that we're going to see very shortly. So fingers crossed, I can catch those cars, show you the car, and let's just see what happens. And right on cue, the Pagani Huayra BC. Purple, 1 of 20 in the world. We'll check that out in a moment when it parks up. Epic. Well, that didn't hang around for long at all. It is off already. The Huayra BC off into the garage, but at least we saw it. Got a quick glimpse of that passing by my GTR, but we'll go over now and just have a look at the Centenario and the TDF that are parked over there. And it looks like these two are about to head into the garage as well, so we can only catch a quick glimpse of them here, but this Centenario we've seen before. Only 20 of those coupes in the world, all from Qatar. Crazy, crazy thing. Valves making peculiar noises, and also there, the yellow F12 TDF, which I love. But well no, that's gone. Gone for now. The TDF over here, heading out too. So, 3 V12s we've just seen. Giallo Tristrato, the triple layer yellow, is such an incredible paint colour. It looks epic. Very cool. That thing is just crazy, and away it goes down into the garage. The Lamborghiniest of Lamborghinis. And it's gone for now. The pearlescent yellow looks so good under the lights here. And off it goes to join the collection in the garage, and there is also a Chiron as part of this group too, but we haven't seen that today. Which means I shall return to my V8 AMG GT R and we'll take it over to somewhere with a little bit more light to take a better look at this and talk about some of these funny things with the car. Here we go, 513 miles. Start it up. Oh, into comfort mode, naughty me, individual. Shouldn't be using that yet. And off we go. This is where I find myself then, the most unusual location. Been taking some pictures of the car against the graffiti, the pillars and the lighting. Pretty cool and pretty unusual with this car, but let's head straight into the boot here, because the thing that I want to show you, I think is really quite significant, quite important. So pop the boot open, come and have a look in here. Now, about 4 years ago, a package arrived from YouTube that was this size, the play button for 100,000 subscribers, and that 100,000 of you was just mega. A massive, massive thanks to everyone back then, because that seemed unreal. Well, earlier this year, I think about 3 or 4 months ago, the channel hit 1 million subscribers, 1 million of you guys. So literally 1 million thanks again for that. It's just surreal. And this weekend, this parcel has arrived, or arrived from YouTube. So let me just show you what this looks like. I think you probably know already, but I can remove the top, put that through there, given that we've got a lot of space in here, where I have a lovely letter from the CEO of YouTube. You're bigger than Vancouver, you're bigger than Venice, you're even bigger than Las Vegas. This is pretty surreal. But then under here is the gold play button, the 1 million subscriber play button. It arrived. This is thanks to you guys. It's crazy, it's huge, massive thing. I mean, that's my laptop bag underneath there, and it's significantly bigger than that, but that is just mega. So many thanks to all of you for making that possible. It's just crazy. But now, let's talk about some of the positives about the GTR, some of the negatives about the GTR, and some of the outright weird things about this car. Let us get started with the positive surprises. So I could tell you everything, like the performance is crazy, the car drives incredibly well, but you've seen all of that in reviews before. So I'm going to keep this to the things that I hadn't necessarily thought completely about prior to actually driving my car. And the first one, I want to talk about the steering. So this car has rear wheel steering. That was a technology first introduced 20, 30 years ago. Cars had it back then, but it's only recently come back into the mainstream in production, well, supercars and very top-end cars. It means the rear wheels turn, but what it means in terms of steering is that as you drive the car, if you're going slowly, you just give a tiny bit of steering input and the car corners completely flat like it's on rails. It is a crazy sensation that is taking some getting used to. And then driving the car around town, where that helps a lot. Another thing that's surprising me is how this front end is not actually very low. It looks like it's right down on the ground, but honestly, it does not scrape. I've not hit this on anything yet, which given my Cayman GT4 used to scrape every single time to go into my garage, the GT8 almost scrapes when you've taken the splitters off. The fact that this hasn't even hit a speed bump must mean that the overhang isn't actually really that long, and, well, it's working perfectly, so it makes it a very good Grand Tourer from that perspective. Thinking of Grand Tourer, let me come back round to the boot to talk about the luggage space, because there is so much room in here to put stuff. Honestly, I can actually fit in here. I've been in with the boot closed. It's no problem at all. But you can fit, well, you could fit a number of sets of golf clubs, I'm sure, but more usefully, you can fit a couple of flight carry-on bags, some soft bags over on the back shelf. So you've got tons and tons of space, which makes it brilliant for road tripping. It's very much one car, kind of every purpose from that perspective. And then inside, storage. Often in these kind of cars, you don't have many places to actually put stuff. But in here, you've got this giant cup holder area, so cameras and things I can dump in there. You've got this armrest, which opening it up, excuse what's in there, but again, more storage space. And then also, coming around to the side, you've got these expandable door pockets for just putting things in as well. So plenty of room to actually put your bits and pieces, and behind the bucket seats as well. If you wanted to squeeze some stuff in there, you can slide the seats forward and there's no problem doing that. So that works very well. Now, a little bit, something we knew before, the car just looks badass. The beast of the green hell, as Mercedes called it, or the beast as the black hell, beast of the black hell that we've kind of named this car. I didn't think it would look quite so good in black, but honestly, this finish is wonderful. It's staying like this, at least in the short term. And as you know, at the moment, running on the Pirelli Soto Zeros with the wheels that we painted full black at Posh Wash, but they go with it so well. And the exhaust noise, I've only been driving it up to about 4,000 RPM because it's running in, but it sounds so grumbly and angry. It's brilliant. Moving on then to some of the quirks and unusual features like you might normally see over on Doug DeMuro's channel, but there are some things about this car that I find fascinating. And the first one, well actually no, to get to the first one, the doors, they're actually really short. So the bonnet is huge, the canopy is very short, but it means the doors, when you actually open them, don't give you a huge amount of space to get in and out of, although they do open quite efficiently, I suppose. Now that's one of the quirks. The next feature, let's say, is the center console. Now you might already know this, but look at the shape and layout of the buttons on here. You will notice that this is a distinct V, and there are 8 buttons. It is representative of the fact that this car has a 4-litre bi-turbo V8 in there, and I think that is super awesome. Then the hazard lights is up here on the roof, very fighter jet style. You press the button up there. I think that's quite cool as well. On the outside, note the AMG logo with these 5 stripes getting narrower towards the AMG badge. Come and have a look at this. See that pattern in the side slats? I'm not quite sure what you call those. I think that's very, very awesome. Another thing I particularly like is that for the inside here, they actually provide you with a cargo net to go behind you here, so that if you load up the luggage completely back to the seats, you can block it off so that nothing is going to fall forwards and come and hit the driver or passenger, which is obviously a bit of a safety help. And, well, I mean, I could talk about the drift traction control, but you've probably seen that in my other videos. So, some unusual things about this car, but all really clearly thought out. But you know what? Let's talk about some of the things that I actually don't like about the AMG GT R. Now, this is unusual because the car is brilliant, but there are some really odd things about this car. And the first one that gets me, and this is just peculiar, is when you open the door, it obviously has the puddle lights, he says, which haven't come on because the car's been sitting open, but let me just unlock it quickly. There we go. So the puddle lights with the AMG logo, right? That's quite nice, except the whole point of Puddle Lights is that you can see the ground when you step in, not over there. So they're like poser lights rather than puddle lights, and I just find that odd. The next thing is that when you close the door, that's basically what happens. You never shut it properly. You have to give it a really solid slam to actually close the door in this car. If I then step into the car, when you're running it, it's actually quite loud inside, even in comfort quiet mode. You can't really shut the thing up. But let's say you're driving, you know, you're holding the steering wheel. Look at where your elbow goes on the center console. I continuously find myself turning on the suspension and making it firm, or then going all the way around back to comfort. But my elbow is right on that button every single time, which is really awkward and annoying. And then if I just start it up here, into life, another thing that I perhaps should like a lot more than I do is this infotainment. I find that there are features and things that you wish it would do that it just doesn't. So that grab handle is pretty decent. But in here, for example, you can't have, in many modes, your speed showing. So it always has a permanent km/h display up at the top because the analog display is only in miles per hour. But let's say you have it on your range to empty. You have no digital mile/hour readout, nor do you have the odometer of the car. You can't see it. You can't have multiple bits of information and customize it anything like how I would like to. And then if you want to change music, basically none of the buttons here change music unless you're in the music mode exclusively, which then means you don't have any other bits of information unless you use voice control and say next track, which does work very well, but it's a bit tedious and awkward. So you probably want it in the AMG mode to get the miles per hour, but then you can't see how many miles to empty other than a vague gauge for fuel. So that's just, I guess, a little bit strange that in a supercar now you don't have that info. Anyway, let's shut it off. I think I'm being a little bit nitpicky, obviously, because overall, when you think about what you get in terms of value for money with this car, how good it is for not overall that much money, it is rather crazy. I mean, it's a serious piece of kit. It's going to be so awesome when the run-in is done. It's got a very long run-in process. As you know, it's about 1,000 miles before you can even start building up the revs more. About 2,000 miles really before you can drive it at full go on the racetrack. But there are some quirks, some unusual features, many things I found that I really like. The V8 in the center, I think, is a lovely touch. They had that on the GT and the GTS before. And just generally, I think it just looks really cool. It's very, I guess, not me. It's a bit of an unusual car for me to buy, but I am loving it so far. 500 and so miles down, plenty more to come. But as I said earlier, it's a massive thanks to you guys, the 1 million plus of you guys, about 1,050,000 I suppose now, who have followed this journey and made it all possible. And for that, I thank you very much. I really appreciate your support, especially you guys who are watching these videos when they get uploaded. The notification squad, we could say. Do click the bell, by the way, if you don't already, because there's some funny stuff going on with YouTube. But now, as well as being subscribed to a channel, if you want to see the notifications, you need to click that little bell down below the video to make sure that you get them popping up when a new video goes live. But I'm going to wrap this one up for there. I'm heading off to Dubai. This has been a quick video just before I get on the plane to head over, where I'm going to be going to the motor show all the way through until the Abu Dhabi Formula 1 Grand Prix. And I've got an awful lot planned during this trip. I think it would be fair to say the hype is real. There's going to be some mega stuff. So watch out, watch this space. Stay tuned every day as the rest of this year. And it should be quite exciting. Anyway, I'm going to leave the car for now, leave you guys for now as well, and I'll catch up with you again very soon. So thanks as always, and I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.